Disclosure. Before you partake any of this show the wrong way, just know that these are my thoughts of my journey and my conversations with our good Lord. So if you really have any harsh issues, please address them to the big man upstairs. Other than that, stay blessed. Welcome, Aristeo from the Aristeo Junior Show. You guys, appreciate it. Got some good old Christmas music coming in, as you can see with the good old hat. We got Christmas around the corner Wednesday. By that time this airs and gets posted, will be a good 5 days, I believe, away. And so I wanted to wish you guys a Merry Christmas, and I hope you guys have a blessed one. Just know that it is not about the gifts, and so don't stress about it. And it is about Jesus' birthday, so try to put that into every thought you have about the life of buying the presents and giving the presents and whatnot. So remind the kids, hey man, it's not about presents, about what you're trying to do, right? It's the thought that counts for sure. You know what I'm saying? So don't stress up too much about it. But again, welcome, man. It is let's see, December. By the time this comes out, the 20th. But I just want everybody to enjoy. I'm very excited for this third episode. I have a lot of things that I got changed up about it. First of all, I got my format, planned out, so it's going to be a little bit more clear and cleaner. We have, as you probably got the disclosure video. I like that top hat. I got it, so might as well use it. You know what I'm saying? Pretty soon, I'm gonna have some intro music. I got my Kinfolk AOG Alec working on that. He's on Spotify. Go check him out. And he's going to be doing some intro music for me. I send him some samples of some music, some certain songs that I like. And so hopefully with all that, he will, put something that, that he's going to provide. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that I asked family to do so, and he's going to do his magic, and it's going to be an awesome, beautiful, cool thing that, I'm going to be able to utilize here for this show. But no, I want to introduce this format that I got going on. Like I said, you got the disclosures, you got the music, and then the introduction of who I am, and the next part definitely is going to be a big part because it's brought to you. Brought to you first of all by the man upstairs. He made us all happen. He's gave me my experience, my contracts. He's blessed my life, and he's gave me the opportunity to make my choices, and he's gave me still these days. So now I'm doing his work, as I explained myself, in the last couple of episodes. And then I would like to thank all future sponsors, whoever's going to come down, man, whoever's going to really believe in this, because I know this is going to be something, because he has already provided the ways, he's already provided the vision, and I'm excited to actually do these steps. And I'm still flesh, so I'm still learning. But I tell you, man, every week it's going to get better. It's going to get cleaner. It's going to get, it's going to be up there, man, with the whole, with the Rogans, and with the whole, even with that new Kelsey's, Miss Kelsey's project she got going on, and just, it's just going to be up there along with everything, man, just because it's going to be good vibes and positive, and all for his message, and so I'm just going to try to shine this light whenever you need it. You might need it, like I said, a very small one. You might need a big light, but that's what, this is what the sponsor's for. So I want to thank everybody who is going to be sponsoring that. Special shout out to my Aunt Viola with a donation with the 100 Books of Purposes. I'm excited to get that going here in a couple of episodes, and I'm going to talk about that here shortly down this episode here. But yeah, no, she's a big believer, and she's going to be donating, and hopefully this next month I will start that project of giving out those books. I'm really excited about that because I do have a good deal going on with that. So next one would be my intro. This is going to be just a little briefly on a couple of things on what's going on in my top of my head. First of all, like I said, I want to thank everyone who has made comments, who gave me a phone call, man. Man, we had a good hour phone call, man. That was awesome, right, D? And just talk about good times and just what this mission is, what I'm trying to do. And so the comments, the likes, the shares, what I'm saying? Everybody, I got, my mom's, of course, and family, my son's girl, you know what I'm saying? Just all asking us, my nephew, just talking to my wife, of course, you know what I'm saying? Everybody, man, I really thank you guys. You know what I'm saying? It is not just for me, it's for him. I'm telling you, you might not need it, but somebody that you share it, is gonna hear something, and that they're gonna hear a little nugget. And they're like, "Dang, okay, I've been there. Oh, man, it's okay." Oh man, so I want to thank everybody for helping this, and I do challenge those that, hey man, if you're on that shit, or if you're going to, if you're waking up or you're wasting time, or you're at the doctor's or whatever, do a double click and share. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, it might help somebody, man. I really appreciate that. He really appreciates that, and that person who needs that, I tell you, they're gonna appreciate it. And so I really, I really hope you guys are part of the, shining the light. And those who are, thanks so much again. Um, where you could find my newest episodes and DDs. DDs I'm posting on TikTok, my Facebook, of course, Instagram. I'm trying to go to open to others like Spotify, and then eventually open what X, I think it's called, right? Well, Twitter. Just trying to be, give it on all platforms. And then the main episodes, the Out of Stereo Junior shows every Friday. I'm trying to do 7 o'clock. I'm trying to get this, nailed down every week, better and better. I know I've gotten late, so I appreciate you guys' patience. But I'm flesh. I'm still growing, man, and I'm still learning. But I'm just putting myself out there and just to show that you could be, transparent and hold yourself accountable by doing things. And this is me doing things, man. And if this leads to something, man, so be it. But just like I was talking earlier right now, that whatever incomes or whatever comes this way, anywhere from a 10 to 30% is going to go to charity, to self projects, to projects that's going to be, blessing a foundation that I want to, like I talked about, Hope I Help Foundation, that I will create and help those that need times of need, and don't have to jump through loopholes. Oh snap! I got that safety drip. But no, that is a couple of ways that you're going to be able to see your boy at, the different platforms, DDs. My wifey and I are going to be doing our whatnot selling with resales between us. She has a great, beautiful eye on a great economical things, and she just wants to turn around and bless others. My boy has a great eye with tools and cars and whatnot and resale things on that, and we're just gonna bless, and yeah, we're gonna make, of course, a profit, man. We're trying to build a home. We're trying to have a home. I love this duplex. Don't get me wrong, but the Lord is gonna provide a house. I know He is. So these are gonna be the ways. But we have to work too. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna do things that we like to do. We're gonna spend time of buying things, going to thrift shop, going to buying this, buying that, and turn around and bless those. But make a little profit, of course. But make a little profit to create our home, and then bless us, with foundations and deals to others, buying socks and jackets for people and the homeless, and that's part of the whole projects that we're all tightening up all together. That's one of the announcements. Another announcement that's the other intro, part of the intro that I want to talk about is my 10 weeks. After 10 weeks, which is I've already my third one, right? I my I want to announce, man, I'm really excited. I want to do a comedy special. I've always had some things written up. I have about 20 minutes of total stage time. I got about a 3 to 5 minute stand up set that I could, stretch out for a good 15, 20. And then I got some other material that, who knows, man, if it gets picked up or if that's a blessing, whatever. But yeah, I feel like I've always wanted to do so. So within the next 7, 8 weeks, I plan to do some open mics here and there, from anywhere from shoot, if there's anything from Marysville to Everett to Seattle or whatever around. I'm going to try to see what I can get out there. I know it's the holidays and whatnot, but I'm going to put myself out there, man. I've always wanted to make that as a goal and something to do, and I figured, hey, why not? I'm doing this, right? So hey, why not? That's why I've always put that as a chapter in one of my books that I put. Why not? Um, and so that's one of the biggest announcements that I feel like I wanted to share with you guys, man. I'm really excited to put that out there, and keep myself accountable. So ask about that, man. Ask about, hey, how's your project going? How's that writing going? And so that way I could shit. All right, man. You know what? I didn't do it, or you know what? I didn't do it today. Let me jump on it. I got a little notepad that I've been taking with me, and I've been jotting a lot of stuff. And I got some stuff that I've been writing throughout my, here and there, like memoirs and, things that I want to create my book that I've always wanted to talk about, which is another project that I will announce that, I'm doing some writing, creating a book. And all this is just one project just to give out and maybe turn it into like a positive speaker or some a motivated speaker, uh, going back to the kids, talking to them. I feel like I always had a connection with the kids because I've always said, man, even when I didn't have no kids, um, when I was that young uncle or with that homie who had those kids at a young age and stuff, that I always connected with those kids because I've always been real with them. And that's my big belief, man, because these mother truckers, they've been here before. You know what I'm saying? Some of them have that old soul, so that's why they've been here before, and that's why I feel that heaven is not a final destination. You know what I'm saying? It's one of those that you go back. We're kind of, I heard a good somebody that we're on this is kind of like a field trip. Our lives are like a field trip. And so when we pass away, we go back, and heaven is kind of like, it's a retool. You retool yourself. He gives you better learnings because you did whatever you did. And then he goes back to the world, especially if you're one of those that shine the light. And so I feel, that's why it is, you know what I'm saying? That's why I think certain things happen. Like, man, that's why they say I feel birthmarks is a sign of how you passed away, and that's why you're. And so, shoot, why not, man? You know what I'm saying? And I believe in that, man. So that's why I do reincarnation in what ways and so like that. So that's my big belief, man. And that's all part of the book that I want to write and so on. And then that also wants to be part of the show, man. I lived in Montana for a few years, like I mentioned. And even that few years, man, was like an eternity. It felt like, a lot of things. So I want to talk about that later in my project section of the segment. But I'm really excited about that in my life, that I'm actually, kicking myself actually to do. You know what I'm saying? I just talked to a good friend of mine, like I said earlier, for a good while, and he mentioned, man, that he gave me kudos about actually doing it, man. He was like, a lot of people be saying, hey, one of these days I'm gonna start this, start that, and I told him, hey, man, that was me. That was me for many years. You know what I'm saying? And finally, it's that why not, moment. You know what I'm saying? And like I said, man, it's this book. I told you, he cleared up a lot of stuff, and he gave me these answers. The good old Lord, and it will lead to my next segment of the thing, which is the message of the week, which is message. And that's not the segment of it. That's just a little thing that I want to talk about, because if you know what movie I'm talking about, I'll talk about that in the whole learning the leisures part. But later in the segments. But no, man, this new message of the week, I it's heavily related to what I'm doing here, of course, right? And I didn't think about that until just kind of like two recordings ago that I had with these technical difficulties, as my son's girls mentioned for sure. That are you gonna mention? I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna mention them. You know what I'm saying? Because that's part of my learning. That's part of life. That's part of learning. That's part of growth. And in those mess ups where I thought I was gonna produce this video, it gives me this a better video now. You know what I'm saying? And that's what life is, man. You learn from the mistakes. You learn from the good. Like I tell the boys from 6th and 8th grade, you learn from the wins, the goods and the bad part of the wins. And then on the losses, you learn the same thing, the good and the bad from the losses as well. You know what I'm saying? So you just always are learning. And so that is my next message of the week. All right. It is not how you got delivered. Don't get me wrong. Don't be a fool about it and analyze where you're getting this message, right? To some point. But don't be just concentrating on how it got delivered to you or who's delivering it to you. Focus on the message. You know what I'm saying? And so if it hits you in here, you know what I'm saying, and it kind of makes sense here, and it's like warms your body, and you know what I'm saying, a certain song, a certain verse, a certain conversation with somebody, a certain movie, a certain book, something, and it relates to something that kind of like clicks to a certain learning. And it could even be a bad situation. At least you freaking learn from it. You know what I'm saying? Try to learn from it. And that's the whole point of what signs and messages are. It's something to learn from, and God, man, when I say he delivers in so many different ways, man, it is so amazing what he delivers. And just like right now, I didn't even, saying I wasn't even, Lord knows that he's always needs to check on me right now. And I'm being helped and I appreciate that. You know, and my boy also, he doesn't know that. He comes out and he didn't know that. And he gave me a thumbs up because he knows, you know, so and so. But it's just the fact that it's just blessings, you guys. No matter where it comes from, you guys just take it in. Okay. Learn from it, the good, the bad, and shoot the ugly. You know, there's a movie like that. You know what I'm saying? But that's one thing that I want you guys to realize is that uh, when you guys talk about messages and who delivered it and who is this cat talking, he don't know nothing, or man, he has both his mom and dad. Oh, so what? His parents were divorced 8 times. My parents were divorced 15 times. Or you know, at least he had 2 homes. I didn't have no homes. Man, no, yeah, I get you. You know what I'm saying? And somebody had a better house, and somebody had those both parents all together all the time, and somebody had it rich. But it doesn't matter where you come from and where you listen and where you listen back, because the messages, it doesn't matter how and where it comes from and where it was delivered. It doesn't. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? The message, okay? Because when the present gets open or the message opens up, it's there for who is there to getting it delivered to. Okay, it doesn't matter if it's 5 years, 20 years, 30 years, as long as you get the message. Okay, now if you don't, if you don't get it, things gonna happen. Okay, you don't pray on this and you don't get this job. So 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 15, 20 years of not jumping on this opportunity, or even 3 years of not jumping on this opportunity. Whatever I missed out, I missed out. Okay, I could have gone some, but I also okay, what else happened? Okay, this happened. I learned from this. Oh, okay, I learned from that. Okay, well, shit. All right, I went through that. Now I'm going to learn and take that out and use it now. And that's what I'm doing now. All right, I'm not questioning the messages no more. I'm just following them. And the fact that this book allowed me to follow him for him, I'm telling you guys, I realized this the other day, and I told Dee the other day, I was like, now I know, and I'm trust me, I am nowhere near one, you know, or either of these, like a nun or a monk, okay. But now I used to question how the heck would they do nothing or chew or not get mad or not laugh, or you know what I'm saying? And even to the sense of also certain people's studies and doing so of the mind, studying of the mind and how strong you can make your mind, of believing in something, in the faith and having your mind is because of believing in something, of the message and not the messenger. You know what I'm saying? um you could even put this in the whole religious or spiritual part, where the whole, you know, God and Jesus. And don't get me wrong, don't, I'm not saying don't listen to God and so, but he himself, what does he tell you? Listen to what he's saying. All right, and the book itself, it's a big book of messages. You know what I'm saying? And it's not the fact that people question it, you know, how much it was written and how long it's been, and how long, how many people has written it, or who written it, and whatnot, and what they were before and whatnot. Who cares? If you read it and you go by it, it makes sense. A lot of that, all of it. Now, does it make sense now? Okay, no, maybe not. Not that chapter. Through 2 weeks from now, 3 months from now, tomorrow night, 10 years from now, you read that chapter again, it's gonna hit different. It's gonna affect differently because you've gone through that different contrast, right? Same thing with the movie. You watch a movie and you watch it. I mean, a show. Shoot, me and the wife, we watch Everybody Loves Raymond. Okay, I used to watch it when I was younger, and I used to laugh. That's funny. I've been married 3 years, but together 10 years. But since I told my wifey, man, since I met you, we've been married. I've been married in my heart, right? So to me, in my heart, 10 years, right? And so this movie, this show hits different. You know what I'm saying? Because it talks about the kid, talking about the marriage, da da da, and now I have that contrast. And so it's man, it's a trip. You know, this messages in the world. So like I mentioned, man, don't question when you're riding a car and you're like, man, should I call my mom? And all of a sudden, a certain, you know, Tupac, Dear Mama, comes on. And you're like, oh, okay, hello, thank you. You call my mama and like, hey man, mama finds out, oh mijo, I've been going through so much, mama, prayers anyways. I'm taking care of grandma, it's hard struggles, prayers, hey, I feel you, mama. It's I hear you. It's life, and it's going through it. And so I feel it's kind of like the other was it yesterday's DD? Man, Mikey commented too, man, I needed that. And I feel you, dude, because I needed too that an ongoing problem like my foot or something like that. It's a tutorial. It's like having a tutor on you. You know what I'm saying? So I get pains, don't get me wrong, with my foot sometimes, right? A lot of times. And sometimes, don't get me wrong, I'm flesh and I'm like, son of a gun, da da da, son of as my son recorded me one time, son of a gun or son of a biscuit eating fart. And so it hurts, you know what I'm saying? But I'm like, right now I can feel a little nerve tripping on it, and I'm like, instead of being mad, and sometimes don't get me wrong, I'm like, but I'm like, you know what? Thank you for letting me feel that. At least I can still feel my foot. I still have a foot. You know what I'm saying? Because if I didn't, if I was still being denial, because like I told you, denial is a killer word. I would have lost my foot 10 years ago. I would have lost my eyes 5 years ago. Okay, if I didn't take these stupid, sorry, I shouldn't say stupid, but they're stupid because my stupid choices. But again, it's not stupid because it just makes me who it is. You know what I'm saying? So I'm still, it just shows that I'm still flesh. Amen. But I still get these shots. So, you know what I'm saying? So I made these choices, but he gave me these messages that I followed now. And it allows me to say that I am able to say, I'm blessed. I'm blessed to still see. I'm still able to feel and walk and talk still to this day. Do I have my hurdles still? Yes. Am I still gets, mad? Yes. But the faster and faster I'm able to say thank you instead of getting mad, I'm getting to the point where I could understand, like my whole point, what I was saying about the monks and nuns, where when you give it to him, where the happiness and the sadness and everything between, life is so much more easier to go through because you give that room, like I said earlier today in the DD, you give that more room in him, in your head, in those thoughts, in that stressful life, instead of thinking about tomorrow, the next week, 2 years from now, 2 or 3 months from now. Oh, I don't want to go work out today because 3 months from now, I don't know what I'm going to look like. I guarantee you, if you work out 3 months in a row, you are not going to be the same mentally, physically, and spiritually. I promise you. I promise you. Try it out. I've had some progress here or there. I fell off many times, but I was John and I saw some, and I was, let's go back. And I went yesterday and today, and my boy said, let's go tonight. I'm sure, let's go. You know what I'm saying? So it's all about the message, not about, not all just about the messenger. You know what I'm saying? So keep that in mind. And I say that, like I said, it relates to me because, man, you might not know who I am or feel where I come from or whatever, but I tell you, man, I've been through a little bit of everything, man. I tell my people, and I said this when I was in sales and everything, man. I've lived in a 6, 7 bedroom house, and I lived in my car, my choice. Don't get me wrong. I've had family and it was my choice, but I was being dumb and whatnot, whatever, and I lived in everything between, and so you could get anything from anything. Okay, meaning a certain song. You're driving home drunk, and he tells you put on ACDC. And ACDC, really? If you think about it, you know what I'm saying? People have questioned, oh, ACDC is da 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 da. He, I still listen to it because it saved me that day, man. It took me home. It kept me awake because I guarantee you, I fell asleep. All right. And I woke up and that's when I said, hey, and I played it. I didn't even question. I did. Back and back. Nah, nah, nah. You know what I'm saying? All the way home. And then thank you, Lord. And then I was home. And so messages are everywhere. All right. If you don't take anything, man, take that. All right. Grow from that. I really appreciate that, guys. It saves lives, minutes, everything, man. So pass it on. Like I said, help, like, share. Next segment. Sorry. is the topics of discussion. Uh, most of these will be the discussions that we can have. Most of these are already discussions have. And I don't know if I've already mentioned this, but Merry Christmas, guys! Again, that's why you see good old Charlie, one of my I don't want to say idols growing up, but one of my man, whatever. It's kind of those one of the people I looked up to as a kid, I guess, right? And so I got Charlie Brown representing. I got the good old hat everybody's wearing, and so and I yeah. So Merry Christmas to all. This is a little early, but like I said, a few days, and everybody's doing the whole holiday shopping, doing that fun times, eating, family and friends and whatnot. And some people are gonna get football blessings for Christmas. So like me and my boy Texans and my wifey apparently, she's converted to Texan. She says so. Hey, it's all good, man. I love it. I love it. We're all family. But no, man. Topics of the discussion is going to be some of the things that we talk about. And so right now, I'm going to be talking about a couple of them. The first one I want to bring up, it's very seriously, but these discussions, man, I don't want it to separate anybody, man, but it does separate. Okay, so when I talk about this discussions, man, opinions, everybody has them, as they say. They're like they're like butt hoes, a hoes, assholes. Everyone has one. You know what I'm saying? And so, um, it's okay to have one, bro. It's okay to have one, sis. But don't be offended if we don't see eye to eye on it. You know, as they say, different strokes for different folks. You know what I'm saying? That's what makes this world. Politics in general. I have a future part segment on that later on these episodes. I don't want to get canceled, but it was a little. That's a separation for people, and that's a discussion. But yeah, man, these things are not just to separate, man. These are just things to a little nuggets of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind. There's a little nuggets of knowledge that just a discussion in your head, kind of a deal. Not a discussion. It doesn't have to be a discussion with others, because if you don't know how to respect and respect your thoughts and their thoughts, then don't discuss too much with others. You know what I'm saying? Start learning how to discuss with him first, and then yourself, and then go on to others if you mastered the other. You don't even have to master. I'm just kidding. But first one I wanted to talk about, topics of discussion, is climate change. Yes, it is very true. At least my beliefs, my thoughts, and my thoughts. You know what I'm saying? The proof is in the pudding, as another saying is said. You see these icebergs melting. You see different weathers changing. You see different climates, changing. It's there, man. You see rivers coming back. You see rivers drying out. You see deserts coming up with water. You see Amazon's getting different. It's just look at it, man. Look at our world. Look what we've done. Think about the population. Think about the pollution. Think about all the stuff that we've done to this earth, to Mother Earth. And so yes, man. And so can you do something about it? Yes. Can you do something worldwide? Man, you can't fix the pollution all together, but you could do your little part. You know what I'm saying? Do you need to go travel all the time? Do you need to go be driving out and about all the time? Do you need to go shop this and that all the time? Can you go local? Can you go trade? Can you buy locally? Can you do things like that? Can you do more hiking? Can you do more or less electricity? You know what I'm saying? Uh, um, can you do more reading? Can you do and can you what it, all those are honestly, man, is distractions. I'm just thinking about that right now. These are all distractions from um, getting closer to him. And when you get closer to him, you get closer to yourself. And you don't like yourself. And if you don't like yourself, there's reasons. So that's what the whole podcast is for. Is finding those reasons. And that's what each subject is gonna always fall back to. Yes, we're talking about the climate change, man. All right. But if you're not ready to be open to understand that that is a possibility and that is something to learn from, that means you're not open minded. And I'm like I said, this show is always going to be real and upfront, man. And so I feel like that is something that you need to understand that climate change is real. Look about it, studies, and like I said, if you don't believe me, do your own studies, and don't just believe everybody. Like I said, Don't just believe in the messenger. Look at the message, and if it's false, say why is it false, and if it's real, see why it's real. You know what I'm saying? And go from you, and go from learning from come from you, and pray and talk about it. And that is what I feel, man. Just look out your window and check it out as well, man. I've been here for 20 years in the Pacific Northwest. The weather has changed already in the last 20 years. Just recently, we just went back to Texas, and bro, I don't remember playing football in that damn heat, man. It's ridiculous, man. I took my wife and my son there for the first time they visited Texas, and they liked it. But man, we went in late July and early August, man, and it was hot, man. Don't get me wrong. I don't not remember playing football and I did, but I did. And man, I miss the people, I miss the food, and I miss overall the state, of course. But it's just too hot down there, man. Mama, I love you, and bro, I love you guys, and fam. All three of y'all fams, I love you guys, but it's just too hot. Harlingen Valley, Houston, HD, Texas, on, you know what I'm saying? Whew. But no, man, look at it. Look at all the whole climate change from everything from all across the world. That leads to the next topic of the discussion, man. The world itself. Um, don't believe everything you hear, man. Um, yes, people could be conspiracy theory, and this could chalk it up into that or whatever, but man, I've read what I've read, and I feel there's a certain percentage of the world that controls a certain percentage of the money, and they control percentage of the government and the news, and it's all hand together, man. That's later in life. I'll definitely break into that. But the reason why I want to break it up now is because it's pretty much all related to the world. You know what I'm saying? And like I mentioned, don't stress about the world, but do fix what you can't fix here. So if you're able to talk and fix your family and friends, um, and being real with them and being honest with them, and then or going down to the street or going back to the college or creating a podcast or writing a letter or writing a book, something that you believe in strongly, put it out there then, okay? And especially if he's driving you. And so I challenge those for that. But out in the world, man, um, understand that you have to learn differently in different subjects, and learning about life in the world. It's very seriously where it's scary, so that's why people become robots and zombies, and it's cool, whatever. If that helps you in life, fine, and that makes you enjoy in life, and that you're enjoyable, okay. But man, I'm outside the box, and so on and so on, and I bless him and I thank him. I used to be mad and curse and wonder why I think this way, but now it's a blessing. It's always been a blessing, but you know what I'm saying. I see it differently, and I accept it differently. So I'm really excited about that part, and that these discussions that I'll have about the world, anywhere from politics to the way society is. Right now, I'm very concerned, of course. Have you guys ever seen the movie Idiocracy? Go check it out, man. Just a small glimpse. I love my kid, you know what I'm saying? But one of the things that I want to challenge him is his video watching, and what he watches. And sometimes we all watch, and don't get me wrong, I watch silly videos too, but I manage myself and control it. I don't allow myself a rabbit hole, because some of these videos, man, bro, he had me watching somebody washing his head with shampoo and stuff like that. And I got looped, don't get me wrong, but there's nothing out of that. You know what I'm saying? He didn't even get a shave. I think they did. I don't know, man. It was just ridiculous. But I guess the funny part was the fact that it happened, right? And I'm using it as like a sign, using it as something to talk about. And so the point is, the world could get you all mushy, okay? Shake that off, all right? Learn how to control it, learn how to switch it off. Yes, it's okay to use it, enjoy it. And he does, don't get me wrong, he watches great videos, educational videos. So it's not just about those, because my boy is a very diverse kid. And so it's just a prime example of that one video, right? So my point is, just don't allow the world to shape your mind, okay? It just goes back to what I mentioned, I think, in one of my previous DDs, or actually one of the recordings I try to do. Don't allow your mind to control you. You control your mind. All right. I'll break that down in one of the segments of the mind, body, and soul. But yeah, man, not trying to get off a subject off of that, but that's all on the discussion on the war, the war, politics, the world itself. Another part of the discussion is don't let the worldly importance separate us. Like I talked about earlier, don't let things separate here in the world. And that's include the politics. That includes of course the race. Money, culture, any of that, man. Like I mentioned earlier, respect other people's opinions and respect yours by just allow it to be your opinion. And if somebody agrees, then so be it. And if you want to change it up, do stuff, activate. You know what I'm saying? And do something about it. But don't bring crime, don't bring hate, because he does a lot of that, man. And you look across of any religion, if you want to choose something. My whole point is just grab a foundation, okay? That's my whole message of my whole overall show podcast. So that way you can build yourself up. Anyways, this goes off to the next segment, which is a huge part of this. This is part of the reason why this show was created. This is very excited to introduce for the first time ever to the show the sports update with our man Fast Eddie, aka Eddie Junior. Yes, it is just another persona. It's my life of sports. Like I've always said, sports is life. But no, I just wanted to give you guys a quick timeout on this small little podcast show and give you the update of the sports world and what we are living up right now. Go ahead, pass it on to Eddie. Thank you, Aristeo. Junior Garza here. Going to break down the sports update for so far on the Aristeo Junior Show, episode 3. We're starting off with the NBA. We are having a solid year on the entertainment business. Just the fact that we just finished up the Bucks winning the second in the season tournament. I forgot what it's called. I think it's the eliminate. I don't honestly. I forgot, but we could definitely look up ESPN or Google it later. But right now with the standings, we have the East. We have the surprising Cleveland on top right now, with Boston right behind them, Orlando, New York, and Miami and Milwaukee finishing the top 6. And then this is the third, I believe, year they have moved to this play-in. And so right now in the play-in is 7, 8, 9, and 10, and that is Atlanta, Indiana, Brooklyn, and Chicago. Now, this was off a day or so ago, so I might be off by a game or two. On the West, which is my favorite team because I am a Houston native, but I am not biased. I love sports in general before I love my teams, kind of a deal, So starting off in the West, we have OKC. That young squad is doing, wonders. They're really solid. We got my surprising H-Town team going back and forth with the Memphis. Both of them are young guns, ready to go. So I'm really excited about my team. Surprisingly enough, they're up there. Then falling behind them is Dallas, with their triple threat now, with Klay Thompson getting added to Luka, which is, man, he is ridiculous. He's the future. And then we got the Wizard Kyrie. And so we got Golden State still in there, still fighting with Chef Curry. The surprising Clippers with their new stadium or their new arena. They're in it. And then the good old play-in, we got the surprising Denver Nuggets in the play-in. The good old Lakers always playing in. LeBron, when he says he puts $1 million into his body, you show, and he does, right? He is a God-given talent. Minnesota is up there with Edwards, and Phoenix, surprisingly enough, they're in the 10th spot. And then some other spots, Sacramento down there, San Antonio. But man, we got plenty of the season going on. We're not even halfway there. So I'm excited for that NBA. I'm really excited for this Christmas season to coming up because there's going to be, if I'm not mistaken, 5 games. I don't know if you noticed, but they got the commercials with the Jingle Bell commercials, and that's pretty funny. But yeah, I like the original one. I'm going to do a quick brief stint in the NHL. I don't know too much about it, man, but I will top. Who's on top right now? Right now, they have the Eastern Conference. We have Toronto on top of that Atlantic, and then Washington on top of the Metropolitan. And the Western Conference is broken down by Central, which is led by Winnipeg. And then we have Pacific, led by not Virginia, hello, Las Vegas Kings. And then we have the Seattle in there not doing too well. They're in their lower division, but, we'll see. Let's see what's to come. Then we go to my favorite, NFL. Yeah, baby. Well, any football. I love college, and we'll talk about that as well. But in the NFL, we have started in the National Football Conference. I don't know. Fun fact: did you guys know that before it used to be two different conferences? That we had the NFC conference, and then we had the AFC conference, and then the Super Bowl is what merged them. Yeah, so look up into it, man. It's pretty some fun fact to history with the good old NFL. But in the NFC, we have it broken down in the East, North, South, and West. In the East, we have the Philadelphia right now going. They're actually going to play Washington here in this next game. That's going to be a tough one. But I think Washington might prevail there. But Washington is leading that division. Along with the North, we are leading with Detroit. That is a tough team. That whole division is tough. Texans had to go through that. That was one tough division there. And then we have the South with right now, if I'm not mistaken, Tampa is leading that one. And Baker's doing his thing down there. He is. He's doing wonders over there in Tampa Bay. And Atlanta, heads up, guys. They just did the quarterback swap. They finally went with their rookie, Michael Penix, and he's gonna be entertaining. He's very much in. So then we have the NFC East. We have the Seattle, who is currently leading right now. And that division has always been kind of like who's hot right now kind of a deal, because yeah, it's very entertaining what that division could really bring, because you never know. And then we bring it to the AFC. That division is also East, North, South, and West. We have the East division. They are leading with the Buffalo, who is ridiculous. It might be this year with good old not Jim, I'm sorry, that's old school Jim Kelly. Give me flashbacks to that one victory they had on the Oilers. Yikes. But no, it was, what's his name? I'm having a brain fart. Hello. Well, we'll pass on to them, and I'll just type it on the edit who I was talking about later. But no, then we have in the North, we have that division is kind of like the same division of the North of something about the North team, right? There's definitely good football up there. But they have the Pittsburgh and Baltimore battling the top spot right there, and they're actually playing against each other. We have Cincinnati with Burrow playing an MVP season, and that team, it takes a team, it really does. And then we had the Browns, who's not doing so good, but that's another laughing matter. And then next is the South, but I'll leave that as last, being that they're a little like I said, they have my personal favorite team. And so we have the West, which is the KC. They are going for the third time. We are playing them this Saturday. We need to get this victory so that way it could set up our whole end of the season, flow of it, our momentum. And so I feel that we have, some key things that we might be able to benefit from. So we'll see. But we'll hope we'll get that victory. LA they just had a game against Denver, and they came out victoriously there. That was a cool, crazy, interesting game just earlier today. Well, actually yesterday, right? Because this is actually airing tomorrow, so my bad. Again, AFC South, my personal favorite. It has the Houston Texans leading their division. They actually just won their division, along with, if I'm not mistaken, Buffalo won their division and KC won their division. Where Pittsburgh is still battling out with Baltimore winning their division. Philadelphia, if I'm not mistaken, they won their division, along with Detroit, and Seattle and Tampa are still battling their divisions, but they look like they are definitely a potential run for a playoff. So we'll see, man. This playoff is going to be very, very interesting. This coming up with the NFL coming up. So I'm very excited to see what my personal team is doing and what Texans. There's so many things that could happen, along with the KFC winning their third Super Bowl. That's never been done. The Bills finally could have their year, or there could be somebody who's never had one. Hopefully I could see a good old Lions versus a Houston one, or Houston Green Bay. That would be nice, with Houston being victorious in either situation, right? Lord, let it happen. But hey, as long as these guys come out healthier, that's, God willing, that's what happened. Just kind of like that one guy for that Houston versus the Dolphins. I hope that prayers for that player. But no, I'm very excited to see what this playoff is going to come. I'm very stoked. The playoffs. Speaking of playoffs, the this coming up weekend is the start of the 12th playoff team for I'm sorry, for college football. I'm so excited. I can't even talk. Apparently, right? It is the 12th team playoff where the top four teams were able to get the first bye. Texas lost against Clemson, so we could have had that chance. But you know what? I mean, I'm sorry, we didn't lose against Clemson. We lost against Georgia. But hey, it all happens for a reason, right? Because Georgia, whoever Georgia plays, they either play the Notre Dame team or somebody else. And then where Houston, I mean, for Texas Longhorns, if we win, hopefully, God willing, we will be beating I'm sorry, hello, Clemson. And then if we beat them, we'll be playing Arizona State, which is hopefully another beatable team. So we have a good path, hopefully we'll get there. So let's get that Longhorns victory. But other than that, man, I'm excited for that 12 playoff team. I'm really excited to see what sports to come. I really push sports because sports is life. And I know Mr. Aristeo is coaching 6th to 8th grades, and we talk about that, how sports is life, and it's really beneficial for these kids in the future to learn that because they learn the wins, they learn the losses, and they learn the good and bad from both. So I really appreciate you guys spending this time with me with this sports update. Learn anything that you want to learn through. Me and Matt still we play a mean golf. We're entering this little shoulder thing, so I can't really play too much. But one day we'll be back in there. But no, enjoy sports, guys. We appreciate your time coming on for the Aristeo Junior Show. Every week we'll do a sports update with Junior Garza. I hope you guys enjoy. Aristeo, take it back. All right, thank you very much, Junior Garza. Again, keep up with Junior Garza's updates on sports weekly. He was very entertaining, as you can see. He'll definitely be talking about more sports and more deep down stories about sports teams that you normally don't hear about, or has a crazy culture, or just we feel like there's always the mainstream media focuses on a couple only teams, and there's not enough love on other teams. And Mr. Junior Garza is definitely going to be exposing those teams that will be that nobody really knows about. So it's very exciting news that we'll be going into that. So again, thank you very much, Junior Garza. Next segment we'll be talking about is learn through leisure. This one is really, I really take pride on this one because personally, I love everything, like I said earlier, about learning through anything. When you take ownership, it allows you to learn and expose the world, and it allows everything to be a learning tool. Books, movies. So the things that we do in leisure, movies, the shows. Now, I'm not saying be a couch potato and that's all you're doing, right? But when you are watching a movie or you are watching a show, don't just blur into it and it's nothing. Just like a book, man, there's something that you learn from there. Something good, something bad, something ugly, something sad, something that you could always learn from a movie, from a song, from a show. And so take pride in that. Take ownership from that. For example, a certain song that I listened to it reminds me when I was 12 years old, so a certain rap guy, Too Short, you know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to be no pimp, you know what I'm saying? I just want one woman and I'm happy with her. But what I'm saying is, when I listen to that, I jam out. And I think when I was 12 years old and I was, buying my first CD, you know what I'm saying? That's what taking ownership, you know what I'm saying? So you learn through the leisures, certain movies that you watch. The one I talked about last week, that Christmas pageant, man, I learned so much of that. Another movie, I just recently watched, you just keep on learning through these. So I'm really excited to show about that. One of the main ones that I want to talk about is music wise is Modest Yahoo. He is a Jewish performer, a rapper. He's what I'm saying, man. He what he sings about is just naturally uplifting, talks about life and stuff like that. But you just you feel that song, man. Even though it's it might be this, it might be that. Like there's one song, One Day. It's man, it's part of my life, man. It just talks about no matter what ugliness you're going through, know that one day you'll be out of that. So don't dwell in it. Yeah, learn from it, grow from it. Yeah, you'll be hurt, but take that hurtness, and then that way you know what that is. And when you do get that hurtness, it gives you contrast on that happiness. You know what I'm saying? So that way, when you do, you get to enjoy that happiness, not the funk where you're in the norm. And I'll explain the norm here later, and that you're, enjoy the funkness because you don't really. You know what I'm saying? You just get used to it. And so learn through that, man. Learn through the music, learn through movies, learn through a book, anything you could do so. So pretty soon I'll be breaking down certain movies, certain shows, and what you learn from them, and what you should take from them. Anything from, like, for example, Forrest Gump, man. Um, Somebody just brings up on a clip where at the end of it he asked if his son was slow, and you never really think about Forrest to the point where he knew all those people were making fun of him. He knew he was he was getting mocked fun of, and stuff like that. And it's kind of like this guy, it was a George Dangle interview, right? And I want to give credit what credit is due. And the gentleman was talking about he was an actor, and he gave a good reference onto what with Jesus and God, and so he doesn't want you just to watch a movie just to kill and pass time. Yes, enjoy it, relax, because you're supposed to relax, but everything's, like I mentioned earlier, is something to learn from. So don't question how you and where you got that little knowledge or nugget. You know what I'm saying? Take it all in. So the music industry, uh, even if it's not the godly Christian, people that people sometimes question, take ownership from it. You know what I'm saying? If you're listening to, if you want to be shooting up this and grabbing that and having somebody shake this in front of you, and you really want that, then you definitely need a little bit more prayer than you think, and some more, a little bit more guidance and direction. Now, if you do it, like I said, and you take it and you listen to that, man, I was like, oh man, this reminds me back when I was 17 years old, riding a bike all the way to go play basketball with my boy Mike and son and stuff like that. And this song reminds me back to, oh man, yeah, let me jam it out and listen to that. You know what I'm saying? But that's is what I mean by ownership and learn through leisure. It goes hand in hand together. So I'm pretty excited to have certain movies and actually have full information on certain songs, certain movies. This is just little, a drop of nugget. I'm going to definitely be making sure I have enough time to do so when I do talk about certain things with Learn Through Leisure. And I just want everybody to pretty much understand that taking ownership allows you to learn in ways that he wants you to. You know what I'm saying? Next, I'm going to get into my playlist. I have several playlists that throughout my day. It is a wonderful thing. If I could get my phone to work, of course, good old technical difficulties. I had it all planned up and whatnot. But I have these different playlists for different moods, man. So to me, this Learn Through Leisure. Leisure is art, okay? And I had a good quote written down, but it was something to the fact where, and I believe hopefully I created, I probably heard something here from it here and there, but with music and movies and books and what that, all that is different art, even dance and whatever, right? It's comedy, all this is art. So um, art is never going to be wrong, okay? It's just how you are looking at it. And you could be looking at it differently for when you're 10 years old to when you're 25, 30, 70, so meaning your age, or you could be looking at it different because you're financially different in a different state and situation, you know what I'm saying? So there's different ways of looking at it, comedy. So it's never wrong. It's just the way you never experienced that. Oh, when rap came on, oh, that's da da da. Man, that's freaking art, bro. It's just the way they were able to dilate it, break it down into dialogues and songs where people could understand differently. Just because it was different, people hated it because it was different. Not because it was bad and terrible, da 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 da. It was just because it was different for them. But yet They don't understand when they were growing up and they were listening to some rock or Elvis, their parents didn't like it. Why? Not because it was terrible music, because it was different. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I meant by making sure they understand. And you, if you don't understand what the other opposite is talking or singing or whatever, don't hate it. Try to understand it, and you might be surprised yourself. So that's what I'm gonna do right now, man. I'm gonna break up the playlist that I have. I'm not gonna get into every song that I have in those playlists, but I just want everybody to expand and to understand the transparency that I try to come across, because I got my uplifting. I cause it cleansing. It's not my cleaning. I don't listen to the cleaning, but I cause it cleansing. And so I'll start off with that one because it's not too much, man. I love all kinds of music. Don't get me wrong, but with music, man, it's like movies and shows and certain books and certain things. When they hit you, it hits you. And certain songs just you know. And so the cleansing ones, man, there's a lot of Christian, good, positive, godly songs. But the ones I have right now, man, are 7 right now that I could just play and ongoing throughout the day. I could play it for 5 minutes. I could play it for 3 hours, whatever I feel like the Lord needs me to play for energize, for soul refuel, or whatever you want to call it. And I don't have it in any particular way, man. I have it on shuffle. So you know what? I'm going to just break it down in shuffle, and have it playing in the background. Let's see if it could come up. If I do get sued and whatnot, my bad on that. But hey, I'll put it down, or I'll put it. But this first one is Marvin Sapp, "The Best in Me." I mean, if you listen to that song, it just talks about don't matter what other people look at you or whatever judgment they have on you. They don't know you, man. He knows you. You know what I'm saying? So that's a beautiful song that somebody should, really get into, because it is a really good song. Another one is one I like to walk off is "Walk with Jesus." The words are so perfect because so many people avoid and try to fulfill your life and through so many different things, and they know it's the good Lord, but they ignore it. I ignored it for over 40 something years. You know what I'm saying? I did a lot of good things, but I didn't do the right things. You know what I'm saying? And so this song kind of talks about like that, man. It doesn't matter what you're just gonna follow the light and do what he says. The next song, man, is "Less Like Me." It's very, to me, kind of fleshy, man. It reminds you that we're still flesh, so we've got to remind ourselves that that's our everyday battle throughout the battle that we have, man. And it shouldn't be a battle. It's just a reminder that, like I said, the more we think about him and like him, the less stress, the less we're worrying about those kind of stuff. All right. Next song is "Nobody." I think this song is one of the first ones that created my playlist for this kind of where I used to wonder, man, why me, who, and why did I go through that, what I went through, and stuff like that. And this kind of song kind of breaks it down where it's very true. God Only Knows Me. I'm sorry if I didn't tell these souls who were their singers. "Less Like Me" was Zach Williams. "Walk with Jesus" was "Consumed by Fire." And then just recently, "Nobody" was "Casting Crowns" featuring Matthew West. "God Only Knows" is by For King and Country. And this song is simply what it says. God only knows, man. And then I have my brother one who just recommended Harv. It's a good one. It's "Altar" by Hulvi. It's good. It's just kind of a refreshing one. And the one that I have been just on another level on is you just listen to it, man. It's just literally telling you I'm gonna have a good day, no matter what they say. You know what I'm saying? Sign is shining on me, man. It's a "Good Day" by Forrest Frank. And yeah, man, those 7 has been my fuel in my cleansing. And I got some other jams like in my soul department. I have a few like good old Alan Jackson. Here in the Real World, I have "Lose Control" by Teddy Swims. That one is on a repeat. "Save Me" by Jelly Roll, "Shallow," Lady Gaga and Bradley Cooper. Good old "Drift Away" by Doobie Gray. And one that's very touching that I pass it off to my boy is "Love Without an End" by George Strait. And one, man, that's undercover that I love, man, it just talks about my wifey, is "Loving You Baby" by Charles Bradley. I recommend checking that one and jamming that to your love life. I have a couple other playlists, man, but I'll leave that later on. That I learned from leisure. I don't want to get too bored into it, man. But yeah, man, that is my message, and that's my little playlist on learn through leisure, through movies, and through music. Next I'll pick a show, and go from there. And then I'll do some kind of dance or some kind of ritual that some people doesn't know that you can learn from that leisure. Again, I recommend learning through that. It's always good to learn. It's always good to stretch that mind, like I've always recommend, mind, body, and soul. But yeah, that's just a little little nugget that we want to introduce you to you. That kind of gives us a good segment turn to our next part of the show. It is message, message, message. If you remember, I should have brought this up in the movie before, and actually, a good related from that past discussion. A good movie where I got the whole message, which is just little nuggets of knowledge, right? I mentioned that earlier in the topics of discussions. With this message, have you ever guys seen that movie, Don't Be a Menace to South Central While Drinking Your Juice in the Hood? I really highly recommend watching it. It's hella goofy. Don't get me wrong, hella goofy, right? It's a parody, okay? But just like I just mentioned, man, don't question the messenger. Look into the message. And if you look into that movie, there is so many gems, so many knowledge. He literally says, Keenan Ivory literally says, message with the delivery guy, because he wants you to know there are some damn good hidden messages, man, about hood, about life, about family, about shit like that. And you don't have to be in the hood to live that, because we've all have similarities in life. You know what I'm saying? And no matter what culture, man, like I said, I've lived in many different homes, man, and it's pretty much all the same. Honestly, truthful, be honest, love, respect, and stuff like that. But no, that is where I got the message. I wanted to utilize that for this next turn, turn in segments, which is the nuggets of knowledge. I'll be talking about a couple of things, kind of like I was talking about discussion. And these are just little messages that I just want you, and it's not really even a discussion, honestly. You could break it up. You could ask questions. Get me wrong. But these are my thoughts, man. I'm never gonna. Don't get me wrong. If there's new knowledge and there's new stuff, new evidence, I'm not gonna be dumb to not listen. But yeah, man, the messages that we're gonna be talking about is gonna be three things. Very hopefully educational. So I hope you guys tune in. All right, pay attention, take some notes. Okay, the first one is, man, let me actually get a book because it's a great book that gave me some knowledge on it. GMOs. I wonder if some of you guys know what it is. No, it's not GMC's new car line. It is it's something that we all intake. 90% of us, probably good 80%. Those who are hella percent and vegan and is strong in that world, eat less kind of a deal of it. In Defense of Food, an Eater's Manifesto by Michael Pollan is a great book to start it off with. All right, very easy to read, and it's great. It's easy to break down what I'm talking about, and I'll give you some more educational tidbits on the GMO. GMO is genetically modified organisms. Okay, so that's pretty much a lot of things that we are eating right now, man, that we don't even know. Look into corn, okay? Look into how serious corn is. This actually talks about it and why corn is made now. It's the whole corn fructose syrup. Look into it, man. It's ridiculous, and it is scary if you think what's going into it, man. That is what's killing us. I feel that's highly related. I feel with cancer. I've done a little readings and studies and stuff like that, so I really feel confident in what I say. I wouldn't be saying if I don't feel it, and that's I do be eating it. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm freaking for flesh, and the shit's expensive. Eating hella, natural, but I do more and more in it now. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I'm eating more of my salad than I'm taking bites of thin crust pizza. You know what I'm saying? Just one slice. But I have my days. Don't get me wrong. I love me good old cheeseburger or burrito. You know what I'm saying? Or Chinese food or Italian food. Forget about it. But no, man, GMO is everywhere, man. My point is that just be knowledgeable about it, man. Try to limit it. Try to control it. Noodles is really bad for you. Carbs is bad for you. especially the bad ones. You know what I'm saying? You can find healthier ones. You can find a lot of healthier substitutes. Okay, that will. I'll talk about how to shop here in this next segment, and it will be related to the GMO. It's really simple, but it's hard. Okay, it's like golf. You know what I'm saying? It's all you hitting the ball in a club, right? And but that's just hard. Whoa. But no, man. Is GMO is a scary thing, man. So learn, read about it, educate yourself about it. Okay. Another gem is from one of my college professors, Chad Lewis, man. Rest if he's still around, man. I gotta look you up, man. You're a great conversationalist. You're a great professor, sir. It's one of the key things I learned in life, man. Not just because it straightened me out, because when I first went into college, man, it was about money. Oh, how much money am I gonna make? Money, 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 more money, more money, more money. Another good money by the a movie by the Wayans. Um, but when I left it, it was all about not about how much you made. It's what you do with it. You know what I'm saying? Life is short. Yada yada yada. Experience, life, grow, and all that. I feel like I've done a great job. I could have done better, yes, but hey, again, flesh, learning, whatnot, contrast. And so the point of what he said, man, hits on all that aspect, and it's so simple of words. Okay, check this out. Write this down. Everything, everything from my hand to the breakdown of my hands, from fingers, fingernails, skin, veins inside, the blood inside, everything, my skin, my eyes, this camera, this laptop, this water, the manufacturer of the water, earth, air, government, the school, the job you work for, is a system. Okay? I repeat, everything in life, including yourself, including your body, including everything, okay? And you know what? And in a way, spiritual religions is somewhat as a system as well, okay? Now, my religion is not to me a religion, but it's this way of life. So it's a system of way of life, okay? So everything is a system, okay? So in life, you want to utilize that system, okay, including your body, your system, your hand, life, okay, school, work, everything system. Utilize that system before that system utilizes you. All right? My hand. I don't want it to utilize me, okay, because I could do some stupid things. I could punch something. I could touch something. I could touch myself where not supposed to, to the point where, what I'm saying, not with my wife kind of deal. You know what I'm saying? And camera. I'm not allowing this camera to utilize me and be on stupid videos and mush my brains into stuff. The videos that I do watch are knowledgeable, educational, historical, and helps me be positive in life, kind of with God, and reminders and stuff like that. And do I get into a rabbit hole? Yes. Do I need to say, get out of here? I need to go do something productive, a little bit more productive or whatever. Yes. Okay. But at least I am putting those good things into that when I do foul up a little bit, it's good foul up. You know what I'm saying? I'm not making it right, man. I'm just trying to be a better flesh than I was yesterday. Okay. And that's what I hope you guys take all this from. Getting a little hot over here because I really mean it. I really, earlier I did a recording and I got a little heated where when I get heated, man, I don't get mad. I don't really like to punch things. I cry, man. I'm a big crier. Excuse me. And even when I was young, man, I used to cry the chillon and whatever you're on. But man, now I take pride of it, man. Shit, nephew had talking about a post the other day about, hey man, why is it sucks that men can't cry or can't show? Hell no, man. A real man can't cry, man. Now don't be whipping and crying on stuff that you are able to fix and stuff that you need to grow out of and the norm and you're just in a funk. You know what I'm saying? Don't cry over that, man. And if you do, okay, grow from it, learn from it, but shut those tears up and do what you need to do, man. I cry when I get angry or when I cry when it's something sentimental, man. That movie, the Christmas pageant, man, those little messages made me tear up, man. I ain't gonna lie, and it just felt good, man. To me, I feel when you cry, you're literally putting things out there, so it's good. Let it out, man. I've always said, let your emotions out and let your feelings out. You know what I'm saying? Your emotions is a system. So if you don't utilize your emotions into the point where, you know what, I'm going to make it good today, like that Good Day song. You know what I'm saying? I'm listening to that to help me pick up. Some days I don't need that good day, but I'm still gonna listen to that song anyways. You know what I'm saying? So everything is a system. The songs are a system. So utilize those systems before that system utilizes you. All right. That is a key thing in life, man. I hope you guys use that as a gym. So thank you very much, Chad Lewis, because I take that in everything aspect in life, man. And if you do that, you'll be in a better state every day, every day. You know what I'm saying? And I hope you do. That kind of goes hand in hand to one of my other things that I always praise about, and I always tell my nephew, my sons, and my nephew, and my everyone is the fact that you have a choice with your mind. Okay, they say your mind is the strongest tool. So you want to utilize your mind, again, a system. Okay, your mind's a system. Okay, meaning you have to control your mind. Okay, so that way your mind doesn't control you. Some people might get that. Some people might say, "Oh, duh," but no, break it down. They ask, right? Okay, go to the gym, right? I have go to the gym issues, just like everybody. I wake up, it's raining out here, ugly, it's cold. My car's not doing too good. I woke up late. I'm doing this podcast late. Yada yada. So I'm too tired to go to the gym or whatever. That's my mind telling me I'm not going to the gym. Instead of saying, you know what, screw all that. You know what I'm saying? I'll take a nap later if I have to. I'll go in a little bit later. All right. But I'm going to go to the gym. All right. I go to the gym. All right. 30 days later, every day I'm going, I'm healthier. That my muscles, my LNI situation is getting better because I'm not solely using my shoulders. I'm still messed up. I still have my limitations, but I'm not, when I could go for my deodorant, I'm not, you know what I'm saying? I still can't go to certain angles, but at least I could go to this angle without thinking about, can I go? You know what I'm saying? So everything's a system, man. And the shoulders they're not going to utilize me. I'm going to utilize my shoulders even to their max, even though they are a certain percentage that I can't go. You know what I'm saying? So I hope you take that as a gym. That leads us with those two, leads us to the next one, man, which is a really scary thing that I'm trying to uh, control is technology. Technology kills us from the mush brain to the Bluetooth headphones. I'm gonna go back to the wires. I was one of the last guys to jump on the Bluetooth thing, and I was using the wires, and I finally gave in. And I'm gonna go back to the wires, man. It's just a lot more helpful. Why not knock off these little years and minutes, and that could add up to more of your life? You know what I'm saying? So I recommend doing that on that part of your life. Getting the technology, knocking out the screen time. Yes, I know that's means with the podcast, but if you are gonna, like I said, if you are gonna dig into it, do something positive about it. All right, listen to something positive. Listen to something uplifting. You know what I'm saying? Why put yourself in that rabbit hole? And if you do, then you might definitely have a deeper problem than that, man. All of our issues normally come to childhood, man. Talk about it, read somebody, pray about it. Don't sweep it under the rug. A little side note on that, man. Think about it. If you sweep stuff under the rug, what happens to that damn rug? Yes, there's stuff under it, okay? And that means they're covered away, but it builds up, right? And think how much more and more rug, more dirt under the rug. The rug gets bumpy, and then guess what? When you're walking over the rug, you're tripping. You're tripping over little shit, little stuff, little dirtiness, excuse it. But you know what I'm saying? So that's what I mean by that. You know what I'm saying? By the, talk about it, because technology is a scary thing. So you want to make sure you don't do anything that adds to your life. You know what I'm saying? Steve Jobs, you guys don't even know. He says his technology. He doesn't want anything for his kids. You guys know how he passed away? I bet you guys don't know. Freaking laptop on his damn laptop on his damn. That's the reason why it's called laptop. All right, and that's what killed him. Damn to fucking stupid cancer. To his, I think, to his testicular cancer. Sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? The whole nut see. It's just ridiculous. So man, do you guys know what you guys do to yourself? Okay, be knowledgeable. All right, don't just be a zombie in life. And we're our bodies are buried. Are buried. I'm sorry, they get buried, but then they come back. Our souls. Okay, so we're borrowed bodies. All right, we put them in the grave and they're done, and then our souls go back to heaven. Like I said, we full come back on another body and go off from that. So I recommend doing so like that, man. Learning about that, learning what you can do to save your life. Next segment is the how-to. I'm going to break it down to this one where each segment is going to get a little bit more deeper, where the how-tos are going to be anywhere from how to save budget to your life, how to, communicate with relationship with your wife or your kid, how to cook eggs 7 different ways so that way it doesn't get boring and ridiculous. Meaning, cook eggs with cut up corn tortillas, frying them up. You got eggs called migas. They're ridiculous. Put a little salsa. You got some other stuff in them. You know what I'm saying? Put a little chorizo with it, and then you got a little something different. Then you got or eggs and chorizo, which is Mexican sausage, or turkey sausage. And then you got just eggs by themselves, egg scrambled over. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is you have multiple uses to do things. You just got to look at them. So that brings it up to my next sentence. Like I said, is how to grocery shop healthy wise. Like I said, man, this next part is pretty simple, but it is hard because it's pricey, and it is hard because it's extra work. But in the long run, it is benefit. It is a lot more beneficial. I'm gonna go ahead and take a quick pause because I might need to check this. Yep, motherfucker. Low battery. I've been talking to and nobody fucking checked for me, and I didn't fucking check. And son of a bitch. Sorry. All right, so like I mentioned with the GMO and the whole grocery, it's all related. So I'm going to break it down on the how-to again. Again, it is simple, but it's hard. Okay, like I said, it's golf. What I mean by so grocery shopping. If you look at a diagram of a grocery, right? Any grocery. Let me just grab a book. It's pretty much a square. So you walk in the door, right? If you look at it, the way to shop is anything in the outside. Okay, it's cool to buy. Produce, meaning your vegetables and your fruit, your meat, your chicken, your turkey, whatever, your milk, your butter, limited, of course, eggs, and then bread, of course, but limited. Okay, if you're diabetes like me, grain limited. Try to do it in the morning so that way you have more time to burn it out. Okay, just stuff like that. But other than that, man, don't. You're gonna have to exit out the breads and stuff like that, the carbs, the tortillas, the pasta. I'm telling you, man, yeah. So anything in the outside, it's okay. Think about it. And in the inside, okay, think about it. How does food really last that long on the shelf or in the freezer? You know what I'm saying? So you have, they put stuff in there. That is that GMOs that I'm talking about, all right? And so, yes, it's hard to stay away, but man, the more you do, the more it's healthier, okay? And like I said, mind, body, and soul, you're always trying to grow better, and they goes hand in hand, okay? So just go that route. It's like I said, it's easy to once you find out, but it is hard to stick with it because it's a little bit more expensive. But there's ways to go around it, man. Like that chicken, you could cut it up and turn it into chicken with salads, to chicken with chicken salad, mish it up, or mix it with the eggs like I mentioned earlier. But yeah, there's different ways when you utilize that outside part. The fruits, you can eat them by themselves. You could turn them into smoothies, and fruit salads. Put them with some yogurt. Mix it up with some Greek yogurt and stuff like that. Okay, and so that is one way. That's one way to shop on the outside. Okay, another way to shop is when you look in the ingredients. Okay, again, this is simple. You ever heard of the term less is more? I was talking to the wifey about something, but it was different, okay? But that term kind of goes with a little bit of everything. So in the ingredients, when you have less stuff in the ingredients to say what you're intaking, okay, it's better for you. Now, if it's a lot of natural stuff, okay, cool. But if it starts being words that you can't even pronounce, like what the hell is this? You know what I'm saying? And then if it definitely starts with that, remember I was telling you about what corn is used for now? The high fructose corn syrup, that's pretty much sugar. You know what I'm saying? Look into that, man. So you basically read the ingredients before you consume it into your stomach, into your body.
and then wonder why your health is why our health is what it is. Man, come on now, you're doing it to yourself. Like I said, if you're not, and if you don't know, and if you do know, is denial. Trust me, I know that word for many years. And that's hello, type 2 diabetes. But if you don't want to take shots in your eyes, if you don't want calluses on your feet and becomes holes in your foot, man, knock that shit out early, man. It's simple, but in a way it's hard. I totally get it. But hey, like I say, mind over matter, man. Like I say earlier, tell your mind what to do instead of having your mind telling you what to do. All right? It's just all better for growth, okay? Comedy, I had a part about that, but man, like I said, I already talked a little bit about that. It's going to be, in 10 weeks, which is 7 weeks from now. I hopefully create enough comedy and maybe create a special. And then meanwhile, in the next 7 to 8 weeks, maybe do a couple open mics here and there. I've always wanted to try. I've done it when I was in college, like I said. And I'm doing this, right? So it's another goal that I have, and why not, man? I'm gonna try it. So that's another goal. That's definitely a project. And another part of this segment will be projects. And one of that right now is, like I mentioned about that, is the Mendoza one, the American Dream. I have one that I have for a foundation, like I mentioned. The other one that I have with this book that I'm so excited about is called 100 Books of Purposes. And that, like I said, that project is the deal that I already have with the publishing. It was 50% off the order, 100 orders. With the shipping and handling, we're looking at like $12.97 or something like that. And I have a couple $100 already donated. Thank you, Thea. And then, what I'm saying, me and the wife are going to donate what we can, and then, try to come up with something so I could get these 100 books going. And my plan is write down the inside and not sell these books, but give them to people that I have about 39 people on my list, including family from all 4 of my families, because 3 of what I grew up with, and then my in-laws that I grew up, and then and I should say my 5th, my friends, you know what I'm saying? And then 6 would be the strangers that I come across, that people that get written in, or people that I come across that I feel, hey man, you know what, look, you tell me, look, you know what I'm saying? And it's gonna be where I'm gonna have my email or my phone number, where we can create a chain and create a book club. And whenever you have a question, man, because this book is gonna change your life, guaranteed. If you read it, and it's one of those that it's an onion book, and it's a book that's like a good movie that you might want to read it once a month, once 6 months, once a year, once, you know what I'm saying? Because one chapter is going to hit you later than the other, and it's an onion book, meaning every chapter, it cuts more and more. Okay, there's a women's version of it. I highly recommend get the women's for the woman in your life, and then you guys read it, and then read each other's. One key thing I learned in this book, and I'm just a little key glimpse of it, because I don't even want to talk about it, is one of the things that I'm trying to learn with my wife, that I've always been told this, but it's different when you put it into this perspective, is, like she comes off of a long day of work, and no matter what, she comes and complains, and rightfully so, about this and that, right? No matter what, because we all do, it's work. and instead of me being, what I normally think of, let me think logically, let me try to fix the problem. Well, you know what, darn it, maybe she don't want to fix the darn problem, you know what I'm saying? Because, the problem is going to be there. You just got to manage it, and sometimes you just got to let it out. Well, frustration, let it all out. And so sometimes I just need to shut up and stop trying to fix the darn problem and say, you know what, babe, yep, forget that lady, forget this, or, oh, yep, that's a stupid thing, or whatever, whatever that nature, and let it go, and let it flow, and let it all out, and let it out in the world. And then, whatever we could talk about later, and if it's something that, if she asks me, hey, what do you think, and then I have my chance to say my logical answer, then I would say it, or whatever. But, I'm saying, just sometimes it's better off. And there was a couple of chapters, or there was one chapter talking about relationships and whatnot. And so it was just that little bit of glimpse that kind of helps me. And like I said, you learn something from everything. And so take knowledge from wherever you can. and that's one way I do so. And again, I would like to read that book again. And I read it; it's a great book. And I will read it again along with the women's version of that, because I would love to, learn from the other perspective, because, we have to understand, to live in this world, to co-create and to mingle and live with each other, just like I mentioned about the whole, the dividing. Sex is a division. You know what I'm saying? How we get paid, how we get treated, and this and that and whatnot. But this book will guide it, man, because it tells us, yes, there's a leader, but it's not the fact that because do what I say. No, man, it's because God created. Look at the book, read it. You know what I'm saying? But just as important, the woman is. You know what I'm saying? It's hand in hand. That's a rib. Hello. You know what I'm saying? Amen. Right? And so yeah, man. This book is really clear out things. I best described it as you go get your glasses and you read the letters, right? And you're squinting, and then all of a sudden, boom, they put that, in front of you, the machine, and they do, hey, how about this one left, right? 1, 2, 1, 2, okay, boom, boom, yep, clear. And all of a sudden, you got the clearest vision, right? That's what this book is. I'll tell you, that's what this book is, okay? I'm excited for talking about it. I'm really excited. It's just one of the passions that I've been, after reading the book. My brothers, we did a book club, and we want to expand it, and we will. It also leads to another foundation that I want to create. It's Hope I Helped. It's just a foundation that I would like to leave on. I believe my son will be a great, president of it one day. And it's just people helping from local to whatever we can in the world. And it's just, you don't have to go through loopholes, man. Just tell your story, and it's somewhat, I don't exactly have a guy down, but it's somewhat of a lottery to let's hear your story, and if we can fix all your problems, we can. But it's, it's anywhere from getting you a tutor because you're dyslexic to you need some socks down the street, or you need to provide some peanut butter jelly sandwich to somebody, and you need a group of people to do that around. This is what this is going to help. You know what I'm saying? Hope I help. And along with a couple other projects, so I'm excited about that, guys. One of those projects are going to be like interviews. Along with the Mendoza one, I got one going with the barber that me and my son goes with. He's been having a really great relationship, and maybe I'll have him involved with it. And so what we'll plan to do is have a relationship. His name is Gage, and I hope working with the lines. It's called Gage, Seeing the Cuts. And it's about an awesome story about a barber. I don't want to give too much about it and just talk a little bit about that one later on. But no, man, I'm excited about these interviews and these projects that I got going on. Another segment that I got going on with this, because I always felt like, I've always been sometimes a tool of advice, and I just try to always give the third eye perspective, meaning, to me, there's always 3 parts of the truth, okay? There's this person's part, okay? And then there's this person's part, which is they're both the truth, okay? They're giving their side. And then there's a third part of it, meaning if you take yourself out of that, of your body, and look at it, are you right? Are you wrong? Are you a little bit right? Are you a little bit wrong? Or should you just shut up and listen? Or should you talk more? Or you know what I'm saying? But if you allow yourself to do so, you'll gain a little bit more knowledge of overall about the room, about your point, about their point, and sometimes it doesn't even matter on who's right or wrong, because it's the outcome of it. You know what I'm saying? It's what we go from here. So that's another way to listen. So I don't know what the name I'm doing with, but I'm either jumping between Just Ask Junior. Or Ask Aristerio. It's kind of one of those Ask Amy's, Ask this, or whatever. So it's just always my point. And if I have the advice, I'm gonna definitely pray about it and see what my life and what I've thought about it will be related to it. And if I can give you my best answer, I will. And if I think it's a seriously matter that is out of my hands, man, I would love to find somebody to help you, because I feel like if I don't know the right thing to do it, because when I first told my wife, I might sometimes not know all the answers, but I'll know who to find, somebody to give me a good answer, or you know what I'm saying? If I don't know how to fix this car, I'll find the right person who will fix the car. You know what I'm telling her? You know, I got some jokes, and I'll leave it to my little comedy because she doesn't like my jokes about that. But I'll leave that for later and be a little excited about that. But it is, I think, it's still hella funny. Right, babe? And,
Yeah.
and she knows what I'm talking about. But no, and so yeah, man, it's just my little advice. Is give my perspective what God leads of words, and I really feel like you guys let me know what you guys think, man, and tell me how I can help, and if I can, I'll go through the comments and whatnot, and I'll reply. And if it's a private thing, I'll reply privately. Hopefully, if not, if you don't care, I'll be anonymous, man. And if it helps, you'll never know, man. I promise you, dude. Or chick or ma'am or whatever, if you're offended, my bad. If brother or sister, you're not alone or whatever you feel, what you're going through. I promise you, man. Somebody in this billions of people in the world has had that same thought, from a crazy suicide to drugs to wife to mom to happiness to crying to man. Somebody's going through that same thing right now even. All right. So just remember that, okay? And so ask Sadi Still, or just ask Junior, or text somebody, or email somebody, or go to your church, or go talk to somebody, man. Overall, okay, that's what overall my message is to you. That leads to the next part of the segment and I'm going a little bit fast here because I didn't know how much of the time I have accumulated here, and I want to be respectable and enjoy you guys' your time and not be bored. Sorry about that. That was my picture frame that I had here. But no, the next segment is self-growth. A little self-growth, a little self-reflection through mind, body, and soul. I already talked a little bit about everything that I'm pretty much going to talk about here in this segment, so I don't need to go over too much about it. One of it is, like I first talked about earlier, no sweeping under the rug. If you don't sweep under the rug, man, one, like I said, you ain't gonna be tripping over little things, okay? But it allows you to be honest, and it keeps yourself accountable. And that's what this is doing for myself, is keeping myself accountable. And so I challenge you to find a way to channel your mind, body, and soul's growth, okay? And self-reflection is huge. Look into those key words, like I said, denial, making sure that's not one that you fall into is a key thing, okay? So, grow through that, learn through that, but it starts here, like I always said in my DDs, okay? It starts here and it starts here, okay? It's a mixture between your heart and your mind, all right? So make sure you use that. A high hurdle to go over under that is to make sure you don't get in the funk of what I call the norm. Well, I don't even call it, my bad. Dr. Wayne Bauer or something like that. Old PBS doctor guy that my Uncle Cameron, rest in peace, man. Thank you. He taught me some good gems, man. A little side note one. For those who are going to school, who are intimidated in school or challenged in school, man, tell this to your kid. Tell this to anybody, okay? This is a gem. This is, write this down, put it in a tattoo, put this in their head, in their kids' heads, okay? Everything they ask you in school, the answers are in the book. All right, I told my boy this, man, and now, man, I'm so proud of him. All right, we're so proud of him. The answers are in the book, meaning they're never gonna ask you a question that you can't just. Okay, even if you have to be like me, where I don't know if you see this, but these notes, all right, because that's, man, with my ADHD and this and this and that and that and that. I have read pages and I read pages and I read pages and I read every word, no problem. What the hell did I just read though? You know what I'm saying? I get little things here and there, but you ask me what did I just read, and I'm like, oh, okay. And like I said, I read every paragraph, every sentence perfectly. It just didn't retain, because I was like I was telling my wife, my brain sometimes, and some of you guys could connect to this. is it's like a spider web where one thought turns into another 5 thoughts, and one of those 5 thoughts turn into 2 or 3 thoughts, and another one of these turn into 4 or 5, and so on and so on. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I do my little greenery. But hey, I do take advantage of it. But I'll manage that shit. That's my hurdle. You know what I'm saying? I'll get that. But with this here, when I helped myself was these little notes. All right, I wrote myself. I told my boy, hey man, you read 2 or 3 pages, instead of trying to remember 3, 5, 20, 50, write down this last page which you just read. Oh, Johnny went over here. Hey, Johnny went over there. Johnny's over, da da da. Johnny met Susie. Oh, Susie's this. You know what I'm saying? And then you go back to your notes, and then boom, and then it connects to all the shit that you did read and that you did read word to word. And they're like, oh, and then all of a sudden a movie or a show comes in your head, and then you're saying, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? I recommend doing that, man. And so that's my little help and tidbit on that, because don't let the norm get you going and staying. That's where I was trying to get to that, okay? And what Dr. Wayne Browder said is, and that's where I was coming right originally. Sorry about that, sidetrack over here. Don't let the norm get you always in the funk, all right? And what I mean by that is, like in the meeting of, before jumping on this, like how I asked my wife to check the video every once in a while. She gets it. She gets it to the point where she understands what I asked for. And yes, this is my project, but we're all in it together. You know what I'm saying? She has to hear me talk, so why not, right? And she gives me a thumbs up every once in a while, so I appreciate that. But where I'm talking about in the norms is, even if that, I cannot be letting the norms where she checking out the clock and doing that get me comfortable, because then I get, where if she's not here one day, where she's, doing cooking or working or cleaning or at her mama or my in-laws and whatnot. Shout out to the Tolmans, love you guys. Along with, of course, the Herreras, the Garzas, and the Trevino's, and love you guys. Thank you guys all. Love you guys, and all the other family members and my friends. Thank you. Love you guys. But no, man, when you guys get stuck with the norms, it gets you in that funk and the ritual of things. Another example of the norm that one is so easy to relate, man. I'm Hispanic, okay, growing up in a culture where we have to be mindful of our food and money-wise and whatnot. I was always told, eat everything on your plate, right? And so you do so where you do it every time, and it becomes a habit where it's a ritual where it's programmed in your head. Well, I was 20-something years old until I realized I'm full. I don't need to finish this. I could pack the rest of it up and eat it tomorrow, later tonight, tomorrow, or whatever, 3 o'clock in the morning. Oh, I shouldn't, okay? That's where I had issues. But the whole point is, I didn't need to finish it right there then. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to get stuck in the norm of me saying, hey, finish everything. Kids in Africa are hungry. Sorry, guys, in Africa, or prayers for you guys are hungry. Because shit, there's people hungry down the street. You know what I'm saying? My whole point is, it's prayers. Do what you can about what you can to feed, that. But don't kill your own self. Don't be your own sin of gluttony. You know what I'm saying? Of saying, that's one more bite. Who cares? It tastes so good. Nah, man, if you're full, you're full. All right? That's a key thing. All right? That's your stuck of getting stuck with a norm. There's a reason why you had that issue or whatever. All right? It leads to my next part. There's always a root of the problem. Okay? Like I mentioned earlier, most of our roots of our problem is when we're in childhood or something happened to us. All right? Something seriously. Definitely am not professional enough to talk about certain things, but man, I've had family, I've had friends, I've had, people I've come across that, man, it's I can't imagine, as they say, you know what I'm saying? But there's still that light, you know what I'm saying? And that's that light that you still hear, that you're not alone. You're still, there's a purpose, there's a reason why, you know what I'm saying? And it's not all good, of course, and sometimes there's glory out of was it? I don't forgot what the meaning is, but there's, you know, I mean, what the saying goes, but sometimes there's beautiful out of, you know, ugliness sometimes. You know what I'm saying? And that's kind of what I was trying to get to, man. And I really hope you guys understand that point, and not mean, I don't ever mean any disrespect or any, you know, hey, your thing doesn't mean nothing, or you know what I'm saying? Because it really does. It makes you who you are, okay? And that's my whole point, is that take ownership. You know what I'm saying? Ownership. And that was like one of my key words that I mentioned earlier. So yeah, that is pretty much the wrap of the episode 3, man. I appreciate the ride that you have guys given me. I appreciate the time. Like I said, man, go ahead and keep your ear out and listen to and eye out for the, you know, future episodes. Like I said, every Friday, hopefully we'll be doing this. We'll be editing this late night and then taking care of this, and that way I could drop this at 7 o'clock. Along with my DDs. You guys, thank you guys for this, you know, the motivations. Thanks for the calls, guys. I hope you guys pass it on and share, and shine the light, guys. I really do. I really give thanks to, you know, my family here who's helping me. First of all, of course, because they're in it, you know, they're hearing it. They deal with my stuff here. I have to, you know, pack it up. Sometimes I leave it out, get late, whatnot. So I really think about them. I really thank the family, extended, everyone who's prayed and given me help, who's helped raise. You know, and my family, my friends who are also my family. I'm just so excited, man. I really wish a Merry Christmas to all. That's why I'm giving so much thanks, because along with Thanksgiving and Merry Christmas, it's all about out there, man, and give out as much as you can, guys. The more you give out, the more you get in. I don't mean financials, and I don't mean things and stuff like that. I mean fulfillment in life, truly. And there's nothing more than that, man. There's a movie just recently I seen, $1 Million Man, and what did he want? A family and Christmas. It's just pretty simple, man. So love the ones you have now here. You know what I'm saying? Love yourself.